Hi and welcome back. So the last time that we spoke, we were busy building this cross vector stripe, just to discover that I was missing a revving trigger, and that was stopping me from finishing this off. So what I've done now is I've basically cannibalized it from another stripe, but that doesn't help me because now I'm just going to have another broken stripe. So although I've got the button here that I need, I've decided to try and make one for myself so that I still have two working stripes. So in this episode, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and mold a trigger button and from epoxy. So let's see how that goes. Right, so here we are. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and use some of this polyester foam to do the casting of the button. The reason for that is because I simply just do not have the correct materials to be able to do the casting of it. I don't have the resins and so forth. So I'm just going to try and use what I have here. So what I've done is I've started by cutting several small pieces of foam and layering them together like that. Then I took the button, let's just get a bit of zoom here so you can see, and I simply pressed it into the foam like that to create the impression of the button. Now what is important here is you must capture the bevel, this ridge area of the button, because you need to capture that to be able, because this ridge is what keeps the button inside the blaster. Okay. Then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this epoxy that I've used before. I've used it successfully several times already to repair several priming handles of blasters. Okay, so I'm going to use this, just mix some of this and pour it into this. And then I'll first do it at this level here, just to make sure that I get all the glue into the hole and into this impression. I must get the ridge. Use something flat like this to make sure that you capture the correct shape of the button. The glue must go in everywhere, right? And then the last step is to simply put the top of the button on, and then I'll be using screws just to keep everything in place. Like that, and then I will pour the rest of the epoxy from the top to form the top part of the button. Okay, so that is my plan. Let's get going. Okay, so I've left this now for several hours after pouring the epoxy in. What I did, just to make sure that I have got some structure to the button, is I have pushed a nail in the middle just to give the glue something to stick to give it a structure. Alright, so shall we start by removing this now and see what that looks like. It's sticky quite a bit. I'm going to break it. Okay, there's the top part of the button, as you can see. I'm gonna have to clean it up a bit. And okay. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a rough shape now. I'm gonna hope that we'll be able to get a button out of this now. So I'm going to have to use my Dremel and machine this out. Right, let's get to that. Okay, and we continue. this is very, very close. I just want to quickly check if this shape of the button has got anything to do with where it fits in. Let's just see. So no, it doesn't. The back part of the button shape, it does not matter. So all I have to do now is just make sure that it's of the same length. Okay, so for that, because I've got a nail in here now, I'm gonna have to cut it to the correct length, and this is not the correct disc for that. Okay, so quickly swap over. Okay. Okay, now just to cut it to size and to shape it a little bit more. Right, so here's our button, and I think it is roughly the correct shape. I might still just shape it a little bit more, but basically it is functional. It will work. I'm not sure if you can see it is exactly, oops, wrong way around. It's exactly what we require. Let's get up with, let's just focus here. Ooh. Okay, so you can see roughly the same size and everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shape it a little bit more, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it orange. Okay, last bit of shaping. Okay, and I'm done with the button. It came out pretty okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's really good enough for what it needs to do, which is to be pressed. Alright, so just to show you, my other stripe is back to normal as well. I've fitted the button back there as well, so that is working. Now we need to fit this button back in to our cross-vector bolt. Okay, so the spring just goes around the back part of the button like that. Let me see if I can get a bit of zoom for you guys. Alright, so that should do it, I hope. Okay, so this simply just pushes in like this, and with a bit of luck this should work. Oh, it will help if I put the spring in correctly. There we go. So there you go. It's fitted and it's working. Now we can finally move on. Okay, and in the next episode what I will do is I will fit this voltmeter. I was still debating exactly where I was going to fit it. I was thinking about fitting it here on the jam door, but I've decided against that. Okay, so instead I'm going to fit it on this extended battery housing that I got for this bolt. In any case guys, this is all for now. I hope maybe you learned something how to mold your own button. I mean, I'm sure you can do a better job than what I'm doing here. Mine is purely functional, but it will work. I already checked as well that the cover will close, so it does fit in properly. Just needs a couple of screws and you can see it will close. There you go. Alright, so see you next week guys. Cheers.